The world is full of wonders.
Magic is waiting in small moments.
And monsters might be watching, just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
Adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
Wah, la, 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 wah, wah, la, la, la. Because I'm an offspring with self-esteem, I am Damien Edgecrest.
What?
What?
I wouldn't be surprised if no one got that.
See, for a split second, I thought you were starting to do Bad Romance.
Yeah, I heard Bad Romance.
Me too.
Because you're a little monster.
Well, no, you have to understand that when it comes to Damien, the more you suffer, the more it shows you really care.
Oh, God,
Right?
Thank you, Aday. I needed that.
I'm so lost.
That's part of the lyrics.
Okay.
To what?
Okay, we're going to educate people on the offspring and their discography and the importance of it in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There really is a clear divide between the boys and the queers in this episode.
It really is just two separate groups.
See, the problem is that I only know like 3 songs by The Offspring, so I was just not gonna meet you in the middle there, bud. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, especially on like the intro.
Yeah.
Like if I'd done a chorus, you would have been like, oh yeah.
To be fair, Lady Gaga's at a different key and note pattern.
Yeah.
Fair.
I thought it was part of the joke that it was just like off key.
Yeah, I thought he was being dramatic.
You want a Lady Gaga intro?
No.
If you've got one like in the bank right now.
This boy is a monster, monster.
Hey.
Oh my god.
One could even say he was born this way.
Ooh,
Stop.
actually.
We have to move on. Please say your name.
Oh, right. We're doing intros.
Yeah, we're supposed to be recording.
I'm the worst. I'm Damien Edgecrest.
What's this? A moment of peace and quiet for us to just hang out for a little bit? I don't trust it. I'm Raven Eugenia.
Smart of you.
Guess who's back? Back again. Amity's back. Tell a friend. I'm Amity Starnbrook.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Okay.
Well, I think I've done my government-mandated good deed for the day. I'm Hugo Rashad.
Another mission in the books, another organization disbanded, another baddie down, and as usual, no loose ends. I'm Agent Whitaker.
Yeah, no loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Agent Whitaker, and that is how I'm ending my mission report. Thank you very much.
It's been a while since I cried twice in one day. At least one of them is for a good reason.
Oh.
I'm Aiden Brightwood. Let's have an adventure.
Okay. Just slap me in the feelings.
Folks, when you thought there'd be an episode with no sad intros, you were wrong.
Resident sad girl, Aiden Brightwood.
Sad Angel TM. Last time, our heroes had their final showdown with Victoria Salem, the Artifice Witch, where they confronted her homunculus artificial clone of herself in a explosive battle in a warehouse. This one went slightly better than our last on-screen warehouse battle, especially for Hugo, despite there still being plenty of lightning and fighting going on. Valentine was left in pretty rough shape, but was allowed to flee by Whitaker, who told her, I better never fucking see you again. And so she slinked away after her introductory character arc.
And we'll never see her again.
And we'll never see her again because Amity Starnbrook is back, having returned from the Havens and showing up at the doorstep of Raven and Aiden back in Autumn Falls. And that's where we'll pick up. Let's just get right into it, gang. Amity, Raven, and Aiden, you are all at the apartment above the bookshop. What do you do?
if we've just stopped hugging, Amity pulls back from Raven, just goes, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair."
I love yours too. It got so long.
Also, I didn't realize you guys were living with each other already. Like, that's kind of fast, but whatever works, I guess.
I mean, yeah, it's been a bit. Also, if you didn't know we were living together, how did you find us?
I did a divination spell to find Aiden.
Oh.
You can just do that now?
And she just like pulls a pocket of scrap petals and leaves of herbs. And she just goes, "Yeah, I use these. And there's like a little incantation you could do." And then they just start swirling around in her hand, just very casually, just super normal.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I just ask for the person that I'm looking for and it let me right here. So, I was really excited because I remember this bookstore, but I didn't realize you guys were living here. So that's cool.
Yeah, we moved in after things kind of settled.
Yeah. She gets like a little bit of an awkward look on her face. I feel like I should ask how that went, but I mean, we're here, so
You should come in and sit down.
Yeah, Raven's like moving them into the living room.
she'll be polite and like take off like her like muddy boots and stuff like that. And yeah, she'll follow you guys inside. And of course, she's like looking around everywhere. I'm assuming Ruby is around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Immediately collapses on the floor to like hug and pet Ruby and give scritches and cuddles.
Mm-hmm.
And her little buddy, her little fox friend is following behind.
Yeah. As you are like interacting with Ruby, Raven, you see a sort of familiar. You like got to see them for a little bit, but you never really got to interact much with them because of all the craziness that was going on. But this little dark black fox-shaped spirit with a tail made of the flickering blue foxfire that was signature to Inari, the Kitsune spirit, before she merged with Ghosty, the little forest spirit.
That's right. So I would recognize them from the very brief time I saw them like this.
Yes.
Okay.
So Amity's familiar pads into your apartment like an ethereal, sleepy cat is, I think, how we've decided to describe them.
I love this already.
As if they lived there.
Well, not that as if they live there, but just as if they're like judging the space
Oh, sure.
and like figuring out where is the best place for them to go and perch.
Yeah, I feel like the camera's like focused on them for a little bit and you just hear Amity go, "Whisper, come on, come say hi."
Raven definitely held the door open for them and kind of gestured politely of like, "Welcome to my home."
They give a little like look up. You could see like the dark pools and behind their white mask, similar to Wendy's, but they just kind of regard you and walk in. Strut by a little bit, little fox tail of fire swishing. It doesn't catch anything or, it doesn't feel warm. I think Wendy's head pops up from behind like a couch cushion on like the other side. And then they like do a little front flip and scurry over very excitedly, like running between Amity and Whisper. And they kind of like stop and pause. And Whisper sits down, gives a very like imperious look at Wendy. And Wendy kind of like does the thing where like they hunker down, like they like want to play.
Oh my God, it's my dog.
One really wants to play and the other's like, settle down, peasant. Not right now.
Eventually, we see Wendy leaps at Whisper, and the two of them like go bowling into a wall, but when they hit the wall, they both burst. And there's like a little swirling of like blue fire and the wind leaves that Wendy can become. And they kind of like,
Oh, they're playing.
swirl through the room. And eventually like the two of them land and re-materialize on like one of Wendy's little shelf extensions that they can like sit on. And Wendy like has their little deer hoofed rabbit feet like over the side kicking, just like sitting there. And Whisper kind of again, still very proper, prim, sort of glancing. Their little raven wings kind of like flutter out and like, do the thing that like a bird will do when it settles somewhere.
They're best friends now.
Eventually, after giving Ruby all of the scritches, Amity's just like sitting up on the floor, looking around, admiring everything. "Oh, I really love the shelves that you put up there for Wendy. And oh my gosh, look at all these decorations and the lights. You guys made this place so cute."
Thanks. Raven's gonna go and like start making tea in the kitchen and still be like part of the conversation, but this is gonna be the whole night.
Aiden is taking some of the blankets from the couch and like folding them up so it's like less like you two are about to go to bed. Just puts them over the back end of like, if somebody wants this, it's here. And she'll like go and, do you guys have like one of those like fake fireplace heater?
Oh,
The
probably.
little space heater.
A little space heater that looks like a wood fire. She'll like go and turn that on. She says to you, Are you hungry? I can make food.
Oh, no, I ate before we came, but thanks. Maybe Whisper, are you hungry? And just kind of looks over at Whisper.
Whisper and Windy are now in front of the little like portal that does the view out onto like a windswept prairie.
Mm-hmm.
And their ear kind of like twitches in your direction, but they don't actually turn around.
They're fine. So you said you guys moved in together a while ago. How long have you been living here?
It's been like 2 years.
She just blinks blankly at you. 2 years?
Yeah, you were gone for a long time, Amity.
You just see her like very happy, excited expression just fade down into utter confusion.
Yeah. I think Mira, her deer ear perks up at that. She turns on and goes, "It's been 2 years?
Yeah, she looks at Mira. Do you need to go?
I gotta go.
Yeah, go.
I'll be back later. Maybe."
No, that's fine. Go.
2 steps, and before she's even through the door threshold, vanishes into the golden green flecks.
And Amity just kind of like settles down and sort of like sinks a little bit into the floor.
Aiden will come over and like kneel next to you.
I didn't realize I was gone that long. Oh my God, I haven't seen my mom in 2 years.
Aiden doesn't know what to say. She kind of just like looks back at you in the kitchen, Raven.
Oh, Raven gives her like from behind Amity a shrug of like, oh God, I don't know what to do. Like just like pure panic on her face.
Yeah.
Just like,
I thought I was gone maybe a couple months, maybe like 6 months. I wasn't exactly counting the days, but like it didn't feel like 2 years. Oh my God. Is Whitaker dead?
Oh, God, I'm gonna need to ADR in the laugh. I just fucking peaked my mic so hard.
We can cut that if you want to.
Oh, no. You cannot cut that.
no, leave it.
That's so funny.
Why would you cut that? That's fucking hilarious.
You just hear a clattering from the kitchen as Raven definitely dropped something. And then like a scrabbling as she tries to clean it up.
Yeah. Whitaker's fine. As you try to place how long to your mind it feels like you were gone, it still is hard to say.
Yeah.
Aiden and Raven are saying, 2 years since you left. But when you think about it, it does. It feels almost as though it was only a couple months or maybe longer than 2 years. No, it was like a couple weeks tops.
Yeah.
The ability to judge is just fully scrambled for the amount of time you were in the Havens.
Right. Okay, well, good. 2 years. Shit.
A lot has changed. The world got a lot more magical, and everybody knows about it.
Everyone knows?
Yeah, there was a big fight, and we couldn't keep things a secret anymore.
Damn. Okay. Well, I guess that makes things easier for me.
Raven's gonna come out of the kitchen with the tea and put it down for everybody and just be like, yeah, you never were really super great at hiding some of your magic stuff, so I think things will be easier from now on.
Yeah.
It's really cool, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, everyone just gets to be themselves now instead of a lot of people just pretending to be normal humans. It's nice.
That's cool. Well, I guess there's at least that to look forward to. And she, I didn't get to mention this before. She has this like big witch's hat on her head, and she takes that off of her head and just kind of sets it on the ground next to her.
It's as you say, floor time.
Yeah, it's floor time. Amity needs floor time.
Raven will toss her a pillow so she's more comfortable on the floor.
She's just like hugging the pillow because she's still processing like, oh fuck, I've been gone for 2 years. So what else has happened? What else is different?
Oh, you are never going to believe this.
What?
Damien's a human now.
How?
It's a really long story.
Wait, what did you do?
We're still not really sure about that one.
I mean, we didn't technically do anything.
Does he still have the she kind of just like points at her chest to like indicate like the spark.
Raven shakes her head.
How did you get it out?
Well,
It was... the fight against the demon spawn was really rough. We paid some prices. But It seems to have worked out, so now things are adjusting to a new paradigm, including Damien. Hugo opened a community center, so he and a lot of the other Whispered live in Portland now, which is also where we go to work.
Where are you working?
The Eastie Agency.
Really?
For real this time, yeah. Both of us.
Olivia didn't try to like hunt you guys down and arrest you and
After we publicly saved the world from demons taking over, she kind of couldn't anymore.
Huh.
There are rules about magic now. We're gonna have to see about getting you a license.
A license?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never seen some of those plants and seeds before. If they're from the Havens, they're definitely a controlled substance. You'll have to get permits and things.
She just kind of like scoffs. She's like, it's magic. What do you mean I have to have a license to practice magic? I've been doing it since as long as I can remember.
A lot of other people are trying to do magic for the first time. So the governments of your country and other countries are trying to figure out ways to make this transition period a little safer and less chaotic.
She just kind of huffs, but accepts it for now.
Yeah.
It's very much that meme of like the guy with his arms folded all angry and he goes, I guess. Like that's very much the attitude right now.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, perfectly valid.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a very paradoxical statement of like, the world is magic, and also it's bureaucratic now.
And also less magic in a weird way.
Yes, less
Yeah.
magic because of rules.
Gonna have to go to the magic DMV.
Not the magic DMV, God.
But then once you get your license, you don't have to get it renewed for like 5 years. It's not, once you're in, it's fine. They were afraid of, the average person suddenly being able to cast fireballs in the middle of the street.
She's like listening and taking things in, but she kind of like looks around the room for a clock because she doesn't seem to have her phone on her. But what time is it, Natalie? Is it like 9 o'clock at night? Like, what time is it?
Yeah, I mean, Raven and Aiden were like headed to bed after a very long day. So I would say it's like, like 9:30 maybe.
Okay. Yeah, so she'll just look at the clock and sigh and just go, okay, I'll go home in a few hours.
It's like twilight out, it's like not dark, but it's getting there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just hear her just softly go, 2 years.
Yeah.
You must have done a whole lot.
I mean, I've learned a lot of magic stuff. It's kind of funny because Nana Margie never really mentioned like the license stuff.
Who?
A teacher of mine?
Oh,
She's a witch.
okay.
And she was in the Havens with you?
Yeah. Well, she wasn't the only one. She'd come and go. And then there's a few others. They're really nice. You should meet them sometime.
That would be really cool.
Well, if we can figure out how to go without time slipping away like it did for you, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. She looks nervously at the clock again as if expecting it to have jumped forward an hour already. And just, again, turns her attention back to the conversation. Okay, so anything else that I missed?
Is there anything else that's like really big news?
Gary and his family moved down to Portland.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, can we go visit them?
Well, Vivian works at the agency now too, so...
No! Oh, I can't wait. Do you think the agency would give me a job? Is that another way I could get a license so that I don't have to, like, go to the magic DMV? Is it actually like the DMV where you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork and, like, take, like, a test or whatever?
You need to show proof of an apprenticeship, but it sounds like you did that already, so you should be fine.
What counts as proof of apprenticeship?
I think you need to get them to sign something and attest that you were their student.
So I just have to, like, call them?
I suppose. We never actually had to register. The agency handled all our paperwork for us. Plus, I get a special pass because of who I am.
This episode is just going to be Amity goes to the magic DMV.
Just me explaining the bureaucratic rules that I don't actually want to write down.
Well, the way we're describing it right now, I kind of like that it's like getting your driver's license. You just
Yeah.
have to prove that you know how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get your license and you're pretty much good.
Standardized teachers. Blah.
Nana Margie has an online course.
Oh my God.
I was going to say Nana Margie has to be registered with them.
She's got a class 101 course.
Normally it's only like 6 weeks, so I feel like Amity's ahead by having 2 years of experience technically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be fine. I like that Amity would rather get an entire job than go to the DMV.
It's a whole fucking mood.
Do you want to work at the agency? I mean, it's still a pretty dangerous job.
I mean, I have to get a job somewhere.
We just finished a really rough case. It was bad. I don't know that I'd want you near that sort of thing. You just got back.
It was pretty brutal.
She's kind of like looking between the two of you, looking at the expressions on your faces.
I feel like Aiden and Raven probably look a little beat up, or at least really fucking tired.
They look run ragged.
If Amity's like really noticing it now, like, oh shit, these two don't look well.
Yeah.
It's been a really long, hard day. Like Raven might still have like a bandage or something, or at least like a little like cut on her face. Things did not go well for Raven in that fight.
And bags under your eyes because you haven't been sleeping well either.
Oh my god, yeah. She's been sleeping like shit lately.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And they're also 2 years older.
Yeah. Aiden's like, I'm not sure I'd want you near that. And I think her response to that is, I mean, I could help now. I know so much more than I did before. And she's going to start like taking out some like basic healing herbs out of like pouches that are in her bag that's like hung across her shoulders and just go, hang on a second. And I'm going to assume that the kettle is still warm from boiling tea.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just gonna like pour those into some cups, and she's going to take the like mixture of herbs and sort of just sprinkle them around in a certain clockwise motion, like do it like 3 times type of deal in both cups. And she's gonna bring these over and be like, here, you guys look like you got pretty beat up. Trust me, it's safe. I know I don't have a license, and she kind of rolls her eyes, but I promise you it's safe. It's Nana Margie approved.
Well, in that case.
And I'll take a sip.
Yeah, Raven will too.
And it's like a healing tonic type of deal. So any soreness that you might feel goes away, and like you feel a little more well rested.
Ooh. Raven's gonna take a few more sips.
Poor Raven.
I'm so tired.
I think, yeah, Aiden like takes the first sip and then kind of like pulls the cup away and like looks at it, looks at you, and is like, that's really impressive.
I told you.
She will like finish sipping on it as well.
So maybe I should get a job at the agency. I'm sure that they need more magical people who can help out. And I mean, if you guys are working for them, then it can't be that bad.
Though Hugo's not working for the agency. It might be nice to have multiple people on the outside.
Yeah, you said he was working for, well, he was running a community center. Isn't that like, that feels very like not Hugo, and yet also very Hugo.
The opposite of everything that the Whispered stood for, yeah.
Feels very opposite of like everything he was supposed to do, which is funny.
Yeah, it's for the Whispered. They're part of it. They're in on it. It's theirs.
Oh, the whole Whispered is public. Oh,
well, kind of.
His chapter isn't hiding their abilities anymore, but I don't know that they're public about the fact that they are whispered.
Mm-mm.
oh,
But all the members are there, and it's a really cool place.
okay. And she just does like the zip your lips and lock with the key gesture.
Nice.
We're not going to talk about the Whispered.
Why don't you give it a couple days? You just got back, and it's been a while. You should get used to what this world is like again before you decide where your place in it is going to be.
That's true. It's pretty different.
Yeah, I guess. It just feels like I'd missed out on so much already.
You were taking time you needed for you. That's important. And she puts a hand over your hand. I'm really glad you're back.
I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys.
Yeah, we missed you too.
You look really good, Amity. You look really happy.
Can we like do, I don't know, dinner with everybody?
Yeah. Oh my god, we need to tell everybody you're back.
We can tell them in the morning.
Yes.
Whitaker's probably tired. Hugo's probably tired. We could tell Damien.
Damien gets tired now.
Yeah.
Oh, right, he's human. Oh, that's gotta be so weird for him.
It's fucking bullshit.
It's been an adjustment, but I think he's doing a lot better with it now.
Huh.
But Aiden's back to not really sleeping anymore, so that's been fun.
So, if it's been 2 years, does that mean Damien is only 2 years old if he's now human?
Kind of. I mean, he's either 2 or like 2000, so there's a lot of room in between.
Everything's a little weirder.
I didn't think things could get any weirder. I was wrong.
Yeah. So much weirder. Do you have a place to stay? Do you want to stay here for the night before you visit your mom tomorrow?
I mean, if that's okay, sure. I mean, I probably only need to stay here for a few hours because Mom will probably be waking up for her shift soon, assuming that her schedule is still the same.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely welcome to stay as long as you need.
Actually, Angela works a day shift at the urgent care now.
Oh.
We were in touch, but I haven't called her in a while. We got a note with Ruby. Did you send her anything?
I sent her something. Tom is there.
Oh, okay.
When was that? When did we get the note and Ruby?
A year in.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of 00.
Oh, that's right.
That was a year in.
Cool.
We can go with you in the morning.
Yeah.
If she's working the day shift, though, she might actually still be awake. Aiden, you said you've called her a couple times?
Yeah, I tried to stay in touch once things settled down so we could keep her updated.
Could I borrow your phone?
Yeah.
She's gonna try to call her mom.
Okay. You call, and it goes to voicemail.
I think she leaves a voicemail, and she goes, "Hi, Mom. It's me. You're probably asleep right now. So when you get this, I guess call Aiden, because I don't have my phone anymore. But I'm back, and I just found out that apparently it's been 2 years, and I'm really, really sorry. Okay, I love you so much. Bye." And she hangs up.
Oh.
A text message comes through. I had a rough shift today. I'm not really in the mood to talk to you. Period.
Uh-oh. Amity has like the most shocked expression on her face.
I was worried something like that might happen. I think she sort of blames me for you going missing after I took you away on an adventure.
But it's not your fault.
I know, but she misses you. A lot.
You know how Ghibli characters, when they get like determined, they kind of like puff up a little bit?
Sure.
You know, it's like they're sucking in a breath, but all of them is sucking in a breath.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can describe this sort of like tenseness in her right now. And she goes, well, if she's awake enough to answer, then she's awake enough to see me. I'm gonna go talk to her. And she's gonna hand you back the phone and quickly turn around and just leave the apartment. She's gonna go. And we can cut to somebody else if you want to. We don't have to do this right now. I don't want to hog up time.
Okay.
Aiden looks at Raven and is just like, what do we do here?
Do we go with her?
I don't know.
Go to sleep, it's fine.
I mean, she probably doesn't. It sounds like she doesn't want to see you, even if Amity is back.
No, I know. She definitely doesn't.
Should I go?
I don't know. You're really tired.
I know, but Amity's our friend.
I know, but...
Amity's like down the stairs outside.
You hear the door close.
I feel like it's like you guys are like standing in front of the window talking, being like, what do we do? And then we just like, in the background, you see Amity running down the street. Just hightailing.
Holding onto her hat. Is Whisper going?
Oh yeah, she left Whisper.
I think Whisper has like leapt up onto the kitchen counter and is sort of balancing on like the sink spigot. And is like looking out the window as Amity like takes off running down the street.
Naruto running down the street at like 10 o'clock at night.
Whisper turns and looks at both of you and then goes to the window, which we'll say is like open a crack, and they just become blue fire and like trail down the street after Amity.
I feel like if Whisper had eyes to roll, they would have rolled them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I get. Like, oh God, this is my human. All right, bye.
Is this a fun time to reveal the like Kiki's delivery service detail?
Oh, yes! Now would be perfect.
Yes!
So Whisper catches up to her, and she's got her staff in her hand, and she sees that Whisper is caught up, and she flips the staff around so that this branch-like end is now like towards the bottom, and we see Whisper sort of like run up onto it and sort of perch themselves, and the tail just starts like becoming a flurry of fire, and it starts to lift like a broomstick, and she hops on and she zips off towards her house.
Incredible. It's so good.
Raven was starting to put her shoes on and then saw that happen out the window and took her shoes back off.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, never mind, I'm not going.
We'll see her when she gets back. I mean, I assume she's coming back tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
She's back.
Should we text everyone else?
Okay. Raven's gonna pull up a little group chat with everybody, and it's just like, oh God. Well, Amity's back.
Many people are typing.
Several people are typing.
You get back in all caps from Whitaker. W-O-T. What?
We see the text, what, coming through from Whitaker. And then we cut to you, Whitaker, at the agency that night. This is still the night you are like processing the Victoria Salem stuff, right?
Nice.
Aiden and Raven took the Philosopher's Stone to the Gnomish Artificers Guild, and then we're like, we're done. We're going home.
Mm-hmm.
But you and Damien handled the rest of the like paperwork and reporting and things like that. So it's late, but you are still at the agency, like closing out the case.
Oh.
I like the image of Whitaker sitting down to do his typing. Meanwhile, Damien is carrying around his laptop, typing occasionally with one hand and doing like voice to text for parts of the report to make it easier for himself as he's going through the lounge and getting snacks and, you know, still moving around, still doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Whitaker gets the text, she's back, and like stands up immediately, knocking his sort of chair over.
Mm-hmm.
Raven, you get a call.
Oh, he's just, so he texts what and then calls.
That seems very correct.
She's typing her response when you call, and it's like, God damn it.
Where is she? She all right?
Put it on speaker.
She's so good. She is on her way to her mom's house right now.
She's okay.
She's fine.
Where the fuck has she been?
Tell Raven I said hi. Put it on speaker.
Damien says hi.
Hi, Damien.
Raven says hi.
In her defense, she did not know it's been 2 years. I think there's some timey-wimey stuff with the Havens.
Feywild bullshit, motherfucker.
Honestly, she was a little devastated it's been that long.
Oh, God.
We can't be too hard on her for that.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go kick Mira's ass.
No, there's no ass kicking. We're going out to the moment for old time's
Oh my
sake.
God.
I don't think Mira knew it had been 2 years either, because Mira immediately took off, presumably to check on Granny Jones. So we didn't really get to talk to her. Amity was here for a little while, and we got to catch up a little bit, but she called her mom and then took off to go see her. So I don't know if she'll be back here tonight. We did say she could stay, but if she's going to her mom's house, she might stay there. We were going to go with her, but I guess she can fly on a broom. Still processing that part. It was really rad.
Oh, just like her mum. Well, not the broom bit, the flying bit.
It's not on speaker, Aiden can't comment.
Raven just glances over at Aiden and giggles.
Aiden is like stressed doing the dishes. Just like,
Of course she's stressed doing the dishes. God. Oh my God.
One of our mugs has like a chip in it from when Raven dropped it earlier.
mm-hmm.
It's fine. It didn't break. It just chipped a little bit.
Wendy has the super glue out.
Oh my God.
Tiny dexterous little raccoon hands. They're so good.
Do you know if she's got a phone on her?
No, it seems like she doesn't have a phone. She had to borrow Aiden's to call her mom. I don't know if she just didn't use one while she was gone, and so she doesn't have one now.
We cut to the Havens, where a bunch of tiny little soot sprites are ice skating on top of Amity's phone in like a puddle somewhere.
The battery's been dead for months.
Oh, yeah.
For at least a year.
It was traded to a gnome who traded it to a Selkie who traded it to, like, it's been...
Fascinating looking glass.
Yeah.
Are you still at the office?
Yeah, why?
We were about to go to bed when Amity showed up. You should get some rest.
I have to do post-mission paperwork, Agent Eugenia.
We're gonna do that in the morning, since I almost died.
Yeah, fair enough. I like to get it out of the way, you know?
No, that's probably smart. But yeah, Amity said we should all get together so you guys can all see her. So we should try and do that soon.
God, yeah, make sure we have a way to get in touch with her.
Yeah, we should get on that.
Well, fuck.
Yeah,
All right. I'm glad she's all right.
me too. She looks good.
Amity? The name is definitely Amity?
Yeah, Amity.
All right. What's the pronoun situation? I always want to get this right.
Didn't ask. We fucked up first.
How dare you?
I would assume she, her. I don't know. I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
Out of game, we did establish she, her, right?
She, they for Amity.
She, they. Got it.
Merged two personalities.
The one time we're being like, they for both actually makes sense.
Yes.
All right, well, I suppose that's my tomorrow. I better get this paperwork done.
We should have gotten ours done tonight.
Yeah, I didn't think of Amity showing back up, did you?
No.
Gotta prepare for everything, Eugenia. It's the name of the game in this business.
Yeah, we did not see this one coming. She really just showed up out of the blue, cast a spell to find Aiden, and showed up at our doorstep.
Oh god, she's still casting. Did it seem as chaotic as usual?
No, a lot more in control. It was cool. But she might show up at your doorstep if she casts one for you, so keep an eye out.
I'll leave the light on.
Sounds good. Raven's gonna yawn really loudly by accident. Oh shit.
Alright, yeah, actually go to sleep. Go sleep.
All right.
If you can.
I'll try my best.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. Raven will catch up Aiden on the side of the conversation she missed on the phone.
Go the fuck to sleep.
Okay, all right. She goes and brushes her teeth and heads into the bedroom. That tea that Amity made was amazing, so hopefully she's gonna get some real sleep tonight.
Yeah, Aiden's already in there. She's fluffed your pillows and turned the lights down in your room. But she's over near the window now, looking out in the direction Amity flew off in.
Hey, come to bed. If you stay up tonight, you're just gonna worry.
You're right. I suppose they have been fine for 2 years in the Havens, right?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, we had a big night. We both need some rest. And I'm injured. And Raven will fall into bed dramatically with one hand up to her forehead. I'm so hurt. Oh no, ouch.
Okay, scoot over then. She'll join you and cuddle up to you with a big hug. Her gold aura feels like a warm blanket on all your injuries. I'll just have to stay near you tonight.
That's exactly what I need.
Sweet dreams. Whitaker and Damien, what's next for you two?
Damien is actually focused on getting his paperwork done in a timely manner now, so now he's sitting down and typing furiously.
Sure, but because you had voice to text on, you now have to go back and delete all the times where you were saying yeah, just one extra pretzel order. And also, put it on speaker, put it on speaker.
So it's a lot of cleanup at this point.
Yeah.
If it's this late, well, actually, what time is it thereabouts?
Again, 9:30, 10 o'clock now.
Yeah, if it's this late, I feel like Whitaker's, as soon as he's done typing up everything, he's just gonna probably go home.
As you leave the agency, you end up in the lobby as you head towards the parking lot, but you catch that Agent Elias Easty is there speaking to a couple of the other field agents. The man who was formerly the owner of the sword you've been wielding for the past 2 years, Whitaker.
Mm-hmm. Whitaker does a little half step as he catches who it is, and after a moment, he sort of shoulders the sheath a bit, and then with his good arm, he tosses the keys to Damien.
Do you want me to warm it up or meet you at the house?
She's yours for the night.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, no, my back hurts. We're going home.
God. Damien. 2 or 35.
There we go. I taught you well.
All right. Damien, you can take the motorcycle home. We'll get a scene with you doing something at the apartment, but for now, let's follow Whitaker.
Oh, no, that scene was just going to be an excuse to have Damien dump champagne everywhere. It's not as funny if Whitaker's not there for it.
Jesus.
Damien could still do it just alone in the apartment, pretty asleep.
A personal champagne party?
Doesn't have the same impact.
All right. As Damien takes off towards the garage, Whitaker will approach Elias.
He'll note your coming and sort of wrap up his conversation with these other field agents. It looks like probably they're night shift people because they're like looking like they're getting suited to go out. And as they nod and head off, he says,
Alonzo Whitaker, what can I do for you this evening?
God, throw a fourth and fifth syllable on that name, why don't you? Yeah, can I talk to you for a bit?
I can spare a few minutes.
In a few minutes, can you explain to me why your sword keeps fucking me up?
Damocles is a powerful weapon. We have already discussed how to wield it. Are you getting experimental?
Not too experimental, getting a little Arthurian with it, but I didn't think it could, mess me up just being jabbed into harder material.
he furrows his brow.
Have you been getting sloppy? Perhaps your form needs work.
My form is fine.
He takes like a menacing, not like actually threatening, but like he takes like a step, and because it's Elias Easty, it's sort of that like...
Whitaker takes a step back.
Care to prove it?
Yeah, I could use a bit of practice.
Let's get your physical evaluation out of the way.
Oh god, now.
You know what we like to say around here. Always be prepared for anything.
Fine, but only because I know you'll turn to a crisp when the sun rises.
His mouth turns into a thin line, but he does not comment on that, and leads you to one of the like training areas of the agency gymnasium. He will do the thing where like, he's in his classic Easty suit, but he will like take off the jacket, loosen the tie, and go and grab like a bow staff off the wall. You can put a like guard over the edge of the sword so that you're not like actually in danger of like cutting him with it. You two square up.
Whitaker rolls out his injured shoulder a little bit, but tries to do that without Elias noticing.
Okay. He says, let's see.
Can't handle my sword, Whitaker.
Thank you. That's exactly the kind of line I was looking to try and pull out of the air.
I know it's kind of a lot to take.
He says, You gotta let me. Or you'll never get through this.
I almost just spit out my water.
The shit writes itself.
I know it's long and broad, but you should be able to handle it better.
It's really more the girth that's getting me.
Oh, God.
Belle and I are going to die. You have to stop.
I'm going to die.
Oh my God. We were literally just talking about how shippable Whitaker is in the F chat.
You thought the sword play with Damien and Whitaker was bad? Baby, we're turning it up to 11. This sucks.
You're turning it up to Elias.
All right. Jesus Christ. He goes to get into position and then stops and relaxes his stance a bit and says,
I can already see how necessary this lesson is. Remember, Whitaker, where you place your hands at the start can dictate the entire course of the engagement.
Elias, the last thing I need is your advice on how to grip a sword. You do see him space his hands out a bit better on the hilt.
mm-hmm.
He's still shaking off a lot of the injuries from the Salem fight. And his stance is, for lack of a better term, a little stiff.
Elias gives you a little smirk and is suddenly rushing you with the staff. And he says,
Even in the heat of battle, you must not be tense. It only increases your risk of injury.
Oh, we're gonna fucking test me on this. Straight face. Gay face. Easy. In my defense, I just came off a mission. He deflects a couple blows as Elias pushes him to the edge of the training area.
mm-hmm.
Fucking hell, you're in a hurry. I don't suppose you could be like a little bit gentle with me.
This isn't Connor Lang's fencing course, Whitaker. You should know by now that when you are paired with me, things get rough.
Oh my god. God, yeah, do you want me to roll kick some ass for this?
This is more like act under pressure because you're not looking to, kill or harm Elias. This is more best him in the strategy of the fight or just demonstrate what you're doing with the sword so he can observe it, that kind of thing.
Sure. It's an 11. Whitaker's very cool.
Yeah, Whitaker's doing fine. And I think as you begin to move, your muscles limber up. The soreness in your shoulder is there, but it dulls as your mind sort of lets you start to focus on the one-on-one sparring with someone else and pushes all other thoughts and sensations of your body to the background.
Right, yeah.
And there is that sort of almost slowing of time feeling. You are definitely perceiving faster and are able to respond to his strikes in a swifter way than a normal person would be able to. If we zoom out on this fight, we see that Elias is moving with preternatural speed right now. He's not going easy on you or masking his vampiric abilities at all. He is fully coming at you with that staff, potentially trying to push you into this zone of drawing on the sword's enhancing abilities. With an 11, you tell me the compromised position you get him into.
Ooh, love that. Yeah, like with any magic, I think there's always a bit of resistance when Whittaker tries to tap into the sword's power, especially when sparring instead of when he's like in a life-threatening situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he probably needs something to push him into that. I think there's something just a little uncanny about the way Elias moves that flips a switch in Whittaker from I'm fighting Elias to I'm fighting a vampire. And giving into that like fear or adrenaline, that's what gets the sword to like really work through him.
Yeah, for sure. That old survival instinct is kicking in.
Yeah. All right, so at some point, he's going to manage to push Elias back up against the opposite wall. He'll swing the sword and hook it up and underneath the bow staff and just fully wrench it out of Elias's hands. Without waiting for a reaction, he's just shoulder him into the wall and bring the edge of the blade right up against his neck, just like pinning him there. And he kind of looks him up and down. I don't think Whittaker's usually the one who comes out on top in these sparring matches, so he's kind of enjoying it.
Sure.
Hope that's rough enough for you. Where do you find a toy like this anyway?
He grins, and as the staff is falling to the ground, he will, instead of going for that weapon, grab the pommel and crossguard of the sword, and he twists it around and spins it such that he ends up in almost like a dancing pose with you, where your arms are wrapped around him, but he's pulled the sword in front, so now he has a much better grip on it than you did. And over one shoulder, he says,
When you're in the line of work that I am, you tend to find some treasures along the way.
And he will then thrust his shoulders back into you and fully take the sword from your grip. And then you hear it sing as he starts to move it through the air briefly. This is the first time Elias has had the sword back, maybe since the last time you two were training with it, but certainly the first time in a while. And I think he sort of pauses and almost checks out of the fight with you for a moment and is just looking at the blade like it's an old friend.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, Whittaker takes the hit, stumbles back a bit. When you disarm him and push him back, there is this flash of panic as an older habit kicks in, and for a split second, he reaches to his hip, as if, for a handgun.
Yep.
But the adrenaline dissipates when he realizes, Elias isn't attacking him, and he just sort of watches him for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you like it so much, why'd you let me keep it?
Elias, as he's holding the blade, turns it over, and he says,
It wasn't my decision to make.
And he lets go of the sword, and it remains floating in the air.
Oh.
Whoa. Whittaker goes for the staff.
As you reach for the staff, the sword flies at you, hilt first, and before you can pick up the bow staff, it flies into your hand.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
What in the Thor?
He swings it around a bit. Since when could it do that? How the fuck can I do that?
You must first understand the bond that you have with this weapon. Damocles chooses its host based on skill. When it is defeated in battle, it crowns a new champion.
And Elias calmly goes over and picks up the bow staff again.
I did not give it to you. You earned it. The blade chooses you.
Hot.
I didn't realize it had a choice in the matter. Fascinating. So then why is it choosing to fuck up my arm every time I try to do something too big with it? Unless it's just a matter of stance.
He comes over to you And how steamy do you want this to be? How suggestive shall we take this scene to on a scale of 1 to 10?
We could go with a suggestive 6.9.
Okay.
Nice.
He comes over to you, tucks the bow staff under an arm, and he moves as though to undo a couple buttons of your shirt.
All right, now hold on. You've got a wife. I think he will let Elias get in close, but as soon as he reaches for Whitaker's neck, whole posture gets defensive.
He will pause and instead tug at his own collar and indicate for you to open up your shirt.
Oh.
Your stance is fine. Maybe it has to do with your physical impairment.
My physical... Fine. Whitaker undoes several buttons and pulls the shirt collar back till you see his whole collarbone. I've described the bite mark before. It never gets any less nasty. Just these 2 crescent scars of teeth marks, with these dark purple veins exploding outward from it. It's horrible. And after a moment, he looks at Elias and goes, "Is yours as bad?"
Ooh. Elias fully takes off the dress shirt he's wearing and will show you his forearm. Rather than the full crescent, there are just 4 points in an almost square pattern. Old-looking scars that are mostly healed over, but still very visible. And for someone in Elias's position, where he's been around so long and been in so many fights, you would expect to see more scars on his body, but those are the only ones. The rest of him is completely untouched as far as battle wounds are concerned. And he says,
Mine was done properly.
Whitaker's gonna reach out a hand and hover over the scars for a bit. If Elias doesn't pull away, he's gonna brush the marks a bit with his thumb. Properly, what's that supposed to mean?
He goes and starts to put his shirt back on.
It means I was turned, and you were cursed.
Lucky you, I guess.
There's no such thing as luck. There are monsters, and those who do something about them.
So which are you, then?
He doesn't answer that question. But he goes and he puts on his coat and he says,
This agency was founded on something. An ideal. And even though it may not always live up to that, I think I have a better understanding of the principles it was founded on than most. Easti agents carry themselves a certain way. There is a code. I think you're one of the good ones, Whitaker. Even with all of your distrustful and suspicious tendencies.
Whitaker's jaw twitches at that. He doesn't really seem to know how to react to that statement. But he'll sheath the sword and nod, and seems to give Elias a sort of a head tilt. But maybe in respect, or at least in acknowledgement.
Elias has his coat on now, and he's returned the bow staff to the weapons rack. He says,
That sword is a lot for any mortal to wield. Take care. Try not to let it rip you apart.
It's alright, I'm flexible.
As he goes to turn, he pauses in the doorway to the gymnasium. And you feel something in the air flip on. Almost like a static grain had been thrown over your vision of the world in this room. And you hear him say, without turning to face you again,
Josephine Walters will not be disturbed again. I do not care what internal affairs has you looking into. Stay away from my wife. Or else I will personally ensure that you are the first DC agent to retire before the age of 30.
The air clears, and he says, now looking back at you,
But with your shoulder, that may not be the worst thing for you.
and he leaves.
Duly noted, Elias.
I think the entire crew are Elias simps now.
Were we not before?
I mean, if we were on the edge over the edge.
Maybe a little bit before, but hoo-wee.
We were edging before. Now
Now we're all in.
And with that comment, thank you, Corey, for voicing Elias once again.
I asked in the chat if we were going to have Corey dub this before this scene started.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Have so much fun with this, Corey. Enjoy.
I was going to say, do you make him listen to the whole thing?
I mean, he needs context for the lines.
Corey, I'm
Okay.
so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Like I promise you I can do better. I have performance anxiety. Listen, sometimes it happens.
You think you weren't prepared? My lesbian ass self was fucking floundering for dialogue.
You could have fooled me. You were doing great over there.
You really committed to the bit there, ma'am.
I was flying by the seat of my pants.
You were thriving.
And the gay man and the lesbian tried to make a horny scene.
And it worked.
It worked out surprisingly well.
What's hot for you?
Pledge X amount of dollars. We will start an only cryptids.
Let's briefly wind the clock back a little to earlier in the day to check in with the folks who we did not closely observe during the montage of the agency wrapping up things with Salem. We come upon an old, rundown clock tower.
Oh, we're coming back to this. Fuck. Okay, hang on.
And as we transition through the glass of the panes of the clock face, we come into the elevated raised platforms which spiral up to the steeple of this building into a little attic section where there are a few more floorboards laid down to actually provide a mostly complete floored section of this towering structure. And you know what? I'm going to hand this over to you, Mel. Can you describe what we see as we check in with Ariel Valentine?
She is in rough shape. Her face is all scratched up and a little bruised. She's still like cradling her one arm that is now missing her artifice hand against her chest. And it is evident that she has been crying. Quietly, but crying.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, there was definitely some dirt staining her face, and you can see the streaks through the dirt as she just sits there. And I think she's just kind of staring up through a couple of like boards in the ceiling where they don't quite match up. So there's just like a little bit of like moonlight peeking through. She's sad, y'all. She's sad and processing what the hell just happened within the last few hours.
Yeah.
And she's in pain. I think, eventually she like tries to get up because she's been sitting there for a little bit, but now she's sore because obviously sitting against a wall on the solid hard floor is not comfortable. And it's hard to get up with like just one hand. She's trying not to put any pressure on her other arm. And she's just thinking about how she's gonna get through this. And there's, again, a couple of these crates up here, and she starts trying to like lift the lid off of one to like dig through it to find something that she needs. But it's difficult. She's only using one arm.
Yeah, the like busted up remains of the rest of your hand is sort of like just sitting in a pile of your other stuff.
It's in the pocket of her coat, which she has just like shed off.
Yep.
And she's just like, there's like a little bit of sniffling. And she's just trying to like pull herself back together emotionally and figure out next steps.
Mm-hmm. What do you think she pulls out of her like crate of stuff?
She pulls out the book, starts flipping through it, and tries to see if there's maybe anything she can use to like put her hand back and heal herself. She can't go to a hospital.
Not when she's a wanted criminal.
Not when she's a wanted criminal, no.
Roll me 1d6 right now, and we will let that determine if you find in your grimoire a mending spell or a healing spell.
3.
So you find a mending spell.
And she has, by the way, she has like grabbed the book, kind of like put it down on the floor, and then started flipping through it. And she kind of like pushes the book over towards the crumpled pile that is her coat right now. And we can see glints of metal sticking out of the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that it stays on the correct page. she's going to fish one hand into the pocket to scoop out what remains of her artifice hand.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like reading over the spell a couple of times. Her vision is a little blurry. It's dark. It's hard to be focused. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah. Why don't you roll use magic with a -1?
With an extra -1 on top of the normal -1? Cool. So
It'll cancel out the grimoire bonus.
it does cancel with the grimoire bonus, but then if you're giving me another -1, then it is still a -1 because she has a -1 to use magic, +1 for the grimoire, -1 again. Not terrible. 8.
Okay. Mixed success. You have to pick a glitch.
Problematic side effect is always fun, or the effect is weakened is also good in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Problematic side effect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that face you're giving me right now, but go on.
The problematic side effect is that the spell seems to briefly react to the battery.
Oh, but she took out the battery.
Didn't you keep it in your pocket, though?
Oh, she did keep it in her pocket. Oh, she didn't throw it away. She never threw it away. Okay.
Yeah. So the spell starts to take effect, and you feel like a sharp metal digging that was like digging into where your hand would be from like the housing where your artifice hand attaches, because that was also like damaged.
Yes.
That is suddenly mended.
Okay.
And it's still sore, but you can tell that like that housing is now ready to receive a mended hand. And you also see like the dented and crumpled parts of the hand sort of unbend themselves and get righted back into place.
Mhm.
And the hand looks whole. But then like the battery in your pocket also starts to react to this spell, and rather than explode, it courses outwards throughout this space with a golden crackle of energy, and the clock tower,
Uh-oh.
which was out of service, suddenly is also mended.
Oh, fuck.
Whoa.
And you hear,
Oh no.
it starts chiming for the first time in ages,
Yeah.
which will also draw attention here. Because this is an abandoned clock tower, and suddenly it's making a bunch of noise.
She's just like, shit, shut up. And is once again panicked and starts trying to like shove the shit that she needs into a bag, closes up the crate, and she starts like checking around to see if anyone's like coming before she tries to get the fuck out, because she doesn't need more attention on her right now. She just needs to go.
Yeah, at the moment, there's no one like living in the building, so no one's like there to immediately check on it, but you can like probably assume someone will come check on this clock tower. We never established what it was like connected to, but it's probably just, maybe it was part of an old church, so like the chaplain from the church like might come by, even though they don't use the clock tower anymore.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't hear anyone immediately coming up, she'll shuffle her coat back on.
Mhm.
She's got a bag with a change of clothes and the book in it. And well, now she can't stay here tonight. So she's gonna make her way over to the stairs and start creeping her way down to like sneak off somewhere else.
Yep. We will check in with Val later, but we watch as you leave your last hideaway spot, and just for dramatic effect, it begins to rain.
Bitch.
And you must walk away in the rain.
It's that very, okay, you ever watch The Emperor's New Groove? And he's like in the middle of the woods and it just starts raining. It's like that, except instead of just wailing up at the sky, she just like looks up at the sky and with her one good hand, like gives it the middle finger. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And just now her hair is like slicking to her face. It's just so, oh man.
All right, we'll check in with Val in a little bit.
Yeah.
Hugo, you leave the scene of the Victoria Salem showdown. You are undetected. You do not get stopped or questioned or anything like that. You make it back to the community center. What would you like to do?
He's going to quickly send a text to Anya saying, things went better than expected. No worries. Then he's going to send a similar message to Ria and Zuri and the Whisper Chat in general.
You get like a heart react and a thumbs up react on the one to Rhea and Zuri, and the whispered chat, and like a few other people are like, just respond with like, hell yeah, dude. Like, you had it in the bag. Easy. And a few minutes after you send the text, you get a phone call from Anya. How are you? Are you okay?
Yeah. Things went surprisingly well.
Oh, you're not injured at all, are you? I can come by.
Oh no, I'm fine. How are you? Tell me you didn't worry too much.
No, I tried not to watch the news. That generally helps.
Well, if you had seen me on there, we'd have other problems, so...
Yeah. She goes kind of quiet for a second. She says, I could come by anyway.
I would like you to.
Okay. I'll be there soon. She hangs up. As you are getting down into like the area where your whispered accoutrements are kept, you hear, Hugo Rashad. Work this evening. As Aranya Kabe spins around in a chair, he's got his hands steepled, his long legs, sort of one knee over the other. There's a lot of to-do going on in the Pearl District. I hear Fowler and his men will be there. King Octopus is making moves.
Ooh.
What kind of moves?
Remains to be seen, but he's certainly making a big show of his new casino. A flash like that is usually distracting from something else. And he does a little bit of actual like sleight of hand magic and like pulls a card out of nowhere, then crumples it, and his hands, smoke is between them. And it dissipates.
As much as I want to, I did some work this morning, and I kind of made plans. Might need to do a rain check.
Manipulate someone.
Let's use the dice roller, because I don't want to roll the die itself.
Real dice are scary.
It's a 4.
Okay.
Let's get some experience. Yes, indeed.
Get
Okay,
that
there we go.
experience.
Yep, that's in place.
Okay. You see as he like does like one single nod down, spins around in the chair, and then as it spins the rest of the way around, he's not in it anymore. And he's kind of like stepping out of a shadow behind you. And he says, interesting, because I thought our contract was very clear. Your memories returned for work performed. I can always take another payment instead.
I'd rather you didn't. Admittedly, given some of the things that happened this morning, I don't know if I am in the best shape to take this on. I can do it, but I might compromise things accidentally. I kind of lost my temper earlier today.
The night is young, Hugo Rashad. Shorten your plans with the princess. I will accept your working half a shift. A fair compromise. And he extends a hand to you. And you realize now that like his hand is in front of you, but his silhouette is in the doorway, like up the stairs.
Oh, he got them long hands.
What in the fuck?
That's messed up. That's what that is.
Yeah.
What do you think? 11:30 to 5?
I am nothing if not reasonable, Mr. Rashad. Midnight to 3.
Doable.
See you when you clock in. The Pearl District. You shake his hand, and when you release, both the hand and his silhouette in the door are gone.
Can't you just use doors normally?
Kabe hates doors. It's canon now. All right. As you were thinking to yourself, why can't you just use doors? There is a sort of like buzz in your pocket, and it's a text from Anya, and she says, I'm outside. May I come in?
Reply text. Why would you wait outside? And he sends that as he's already making his way back upstairs to the main entrance area.
Yeah, as you're like making your way to the front door, because it's not instant. There's a text that says propriety, winky face.
That's cute.
Ah, yes, vampire style, winky face.
There's like a bunch of furious texting, but like, it says like Anya is typing, but you get to the door before she's able to send anything else. And she just like puts her phone away. The invitation thing was ours first, It wasn't. It's not theirs.
So it's not just like the being a good guest thing. It's literally, okay. That does make me wonder. No, I'll ask you about that later.
She looks up and down and she sees that you like still haven't changed out of your armor yet. Wow, you really had to suit up, huh?
To be fair to you, I'm trying to take better care of myself.
Her cheeks flush a little and she steps inside and she says, I really appreciate that, shade of my heart. Do you want to slip into something more comfortable?
I probably should. Honestly, while I do think it makes sense to wear stuff like this more often, it's painful.
She will turn and like offer you her hand. I know quite a few folk remedies for aches and pains. I think you'll enjoy them.
He will take it and follow her lead.
And she will lead you into the community center.
Armor swap out, yada yada yada. Date night.
Fade to a different scene.
Suddenly, there's a text from Raven.
Yes.
Hours have passed. It's now hitting more 9-ish. And we are in the library section of the community center where we saw Val fall asleep the day before. And there is music on like a record player going. And Anya is dancing with you in a little cleared space, Hugo. And then, bling, your phone goes off.
So he ends up ignoring it for the initial bling.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the Whitaker one comes in, it's like, this soon already?
It's just multiple texts in a row. Oh God, what happened?
Right. Oh, this is probably an update on things that happened today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it technically is.
It technically is, but I think Hugo's like coming into this thinking like there's news about Salem or,
yeah.
some terrible, horrible thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see the text. Amity is back.
Holy shit.
What is it?
A friend of ours who went, I wouldn't say missing, but went on a little adventure is apparently back in town.
That's wonderful.
Huh.
Do you need to go?
It's complicated. Let me give you the spark notes of it all. Spark being a fairly reasonable term in this case. Remember that entire thing going on with the spark thingies and all the stuff? And you remember that time I told you about Aiden's kid?
I think she just laughs. She says, the story of how you and your friends changed the world and brought us back together. Yes, I think I remember that one, Hugo.
Do you remember the curly-haired kid I told you about?
Yes, the, conduit?
Yeah, them.
Fascinating. Where were they?
I don't even know. I know they weren't here.
At this point, if this is like caught up to the present, I feel like Raven will have gotten off the phone with Whitaker at this point and sent Amity was in the Havens, doesn't know it's been 2 years. We're going to catch up soon. Maybe tomorrow? And like just a very quick little context.
Yeah, it's like all popping up as Hugo's like staring at the phone.
As he's trying to explain and doesn't have any answers. It's just like, here's the answers.
I would have imagined that like when Felicity left, Whitaker or Aiden would have been like, yeah, she's going to the Havens. She'll be back.
We knew the plan was for Felicity to go with Mira to the Havens, but then we didn't hear from them again, and so we never actually knew.
Yeah.
But also, Raven and Aiden would have shared the letter that you got.
Yeah.
Still in the Havens.
Yeah.
So, like, you would have known.
But even then, a year later, it's like, are they still there?
Still not that much information.
Yeah.
Not a ton.
No.
Yeah. So it is confirmed was in the Havens the whole time.
The whole time?
The whole time. And then Raven goes to bed after that, so she can't answer any questions.
Yeah.
But at least Hugo has some answers.
Right.
Let Raven sleep 2024.
Can Damien call Hugo?
Ooh.
Because as far as Damien is concerned, he just had a great successful mission, and well, thanks to his nice and lovely Eastie agency friends, it's all very much attributed to Hugo. So he is very much a, hey, I'm out of work, huge thanks, let me make it up to you mindset.
That's true. Yeah. If we're caught up on time, then Damien, you are leaving the Eastie agency with Whitaker's keys and this text of like Amity's back, blah, blah, blah.
Perfect. Yeah, so Damien will call Hugo.
So as you're explaining to Anya and she's sort of like laughing at your sort of awestruck expression, your phone rings and it's a call from Damien coming in.
Sorry, it's Damien.
It sounds like you have a lot going on tonight. We can call it here if you like.
Do I like? No. Will we? For now.
She will...
I owe you.
You can't just say
Hugo, you
that.
can't just say that to your Fae girlfriend. You're insane for that.
But he can.
That's like steamy for Anya specifically.
You say, I owe you. And her eyes dilate a little bit.
Oh!
And she...
And it's not a promise, it's a deal.
Is that any better?
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay. Fuck! You see, like, literal small Fey runes in, like, spiraling way, like, forming around her hand as you say that. Again, her eyes, like, super large pupils. She's still kind of, like, a little distance away from you. And she dashes over with, like, sprightly elven speed, clasps your hand, and will stand up on her tiptoes and give you a kiss on the cheek, and the runes vanish. And she says, not anymore. I'm gonna go. Bye. And she kind of just like skipped out of the room.
What?
And he's just gonna stand there, not confused, more stunned than anything.
I'm confused.
The entire time the phone's still going.
Yeah.
And he's going to snap back to reality and answer the phone.
My hero, my savior, the MVP. Hugo, how are you?
My hero, my savior, the MVP. Damien, how are you doing?
Dude, I am king of the world. I've got a bottle of champagne and a jumpsuit like they do in Formula One races. So I'm about to go home to celebrate. Things are looking good. Successful mission. How are you doing, bud? You doing some self-care, enjoying your night?
You could say that, yeah.
Well, hey, buddy, I gotta say, I owe you one. So the next time you need help or you need anything, you just let me know. I've got plenty of sick time and vacation days. That whole community center project, you just say the word and I'll help you guys move chairs around or whatever it is that you do there.
That's so real.
There's two things I could actually think of for you to help me with, Damien.
Oh, hell yeah.
One of them I need Whitaker's input on too. But the other one, have you ever thought about teaching a class?
What?
What?
Have you ever thought about teaching a class?
That doesn't compute?
What is he gonna teach?
You've had life experiences that no one else I can think of on this plane of existence could replicate or speak on with any level of authenticity.
Okay, but see, so teachers have like a set of skills that they pass along, like engineers. They spend years doing engineering and then they can teach you how to be an engineer. Doctor, you be a doctor for a year and then you can pass that on. I don't have those hard, concrete skills. Okay, I can mischief. I can,
You grew up in the school of hard knocks. You know people.
Yeah, but that's not teaching stuff.
Well, would you like to try?
I am happy to support you, but I don't see how my skill set is helpful here. I don't know what I would teach. Like, what would the class be called? What would my title be? Like,
Human Lord Edgecrest? I don't know.
Oh, I like Human Lord Edgecrest.
Well, you've sold me on this idea, so I am 100% down.
Cool. Then it's going to be up to you to figure out what you want to teach.
You're just like my therapist. I get more homework. You guys are ridiculous.
You offered.
You're right. And I am here to help. Can you give me more information, I guess, about the target audience?
Anyone who's willing to listen. Especially, there have been a lot of folk that have been angry about the center being open. And I'm curious if you'd be able to give them perspective.
Oh, like it could be worse. You could have former demons around. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Not necessarily how it could be worse, but how things get better.
Oh, no, dude, I'm like not a good example. I could be trying like so much harder at like being a proper responsible human. I can't, I mean, I will, I'm fine, but I don't know how I can speak to or represent, or arguably I'd say I'm probably a reason why we shouldn't keep doing, can you just like have furniture for me to move or something?
This is what human favors are, helping your friends move.
Damn.
Well, if you want to take the easy path, I guess.
I mean, look, I like meeting new people. I would like to meet whoever has a problem with a community center and Hugo Rashad. That seems like they have to be on the wrong side here. Not that things are black and white. There's always shades of gray. That being said,
Yep.
I would be really curious to see what their point of view is. Yeah, I can swing up tomorrow if that works.
We'll find time. I'm probably going to have a very long night, so I'm going to need some proper sleep in the morning.
Nice, dude, nice.
Don't think the kind of work I'm going to be doing would be counted as nice.
Oh, work?
Work.
What work could you be doing at night?
Night shift stuff. Graveyard shift stuff. Things that tie into the second thing I was asking about, that I might need your help and Whitaker's help.
What are you doing tonight, Damien?
Yeah, Hugo. Yeah, that sounds right. See, I was gonna try to bust you on the, hey, we don't have secrets now, but if it's something that you're just waiting to tell me until you get everyone else around so you don't have to say the same thing over and over again, that is totally fine. And then you can tell me about it when I see you next.
I've been taking matters into my own hands on various things, and things might be getting dangerous. No secrets.
Huh. That's funny you should say that, as Damien's like switching the GPS from like going to his house to the community center.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. I've been trying to take that same approach this year, really taking things into my own hands and really stepping up and trying to help people when they need it,
Yeah, that's all we can do, really.
Okay, well then I will talk to you later. Have a great night.
I'll try. Also, get some rest and try to be careful with the champagne.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to make a huge mess. I wouldn't do more than one bottle.
Love talking with you, Damien. I'll catch you later.
Take care. Damien sighs and starts texting Prithee. Put the champagne back. We'll have to do this another time.
They send back some gif of like somebody sitting down to like a pile of like large pancakes or something, and the text reads like, "Party for one."
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Cute.
Amity,
Uh-huh.
on your staff, you are flying down familiar streets. The town of Autumn Falls, where you grew up and had many of your very first early adventures.
Yeah.
You pass by the Maple Leaf Diner, the center of town. You see the road that you know will take you to the Summers Crest Mall and then further on into Vernal Springs, where you know your mom works. You travel through some neighborhoods and an old park where you used to sit on the swings and hang out with Ghosty and Tom. And as you fly, you eventually make it to the neighborhood where your house is.
Mm-hmm.
We see the Starnbrook residence, a raised ranch house with warm rustic siding full of knots and character, a wooden fence running around the yard, and a large tree peeking up over the top of the house in the backyard.
She'll hop off the staff, dismiss Whisper from their flying duty.
They just sort of leap off the staff, and the like fire that is held within the like cradle of branches at the end of your staff just sort of follows them out as their tail.
Yeah. She kind of just stops and stares at the house for a second, because there's a question of, do I knock? Can I just walk in? This was my house.
I think as you pause, Whisper has like made it a few steps up the little stone path and then like turns back to look at you like, are we going?
She'll head up the path. And this is one of those times where she really wishes Mira was here right now, but Mira's got some other things to deal with, and so she's going to deal with this by herself. And I think what she settles on is she'll like knock on the door, but then try turning the handle like after she knocks to see if it's unlocked.
It's not.
It's locked. Okay.
How hard do you knock?
Pretty loudly.
Okay.
She totally left her hat at Raven's, by the way.
Yeah.
She absolutely left without it.
I think you hear some footsteps and the door opens and your mom is there and she says in a rushed sort of like exasperated exhale, I really don't want to. Oh my God. And she like drops the mug of tea that she was holding and it shatters on the front step.
I tried to call, but you didn't pick up.
You are enveloped in a hug.
She hugs her back.
It is so tight and would be very still if not for the like shake in your mom's body as she cries and just grasps at you like you might vanish. She's just holding on to you and like feeling at your curls, which are now more wavy than she remembers, you know, like.
She starts like rubbing her back with one hand and just says, I'm sorry, I lost track of time apparently, and I was gone longer than I thought I was.
Are you real?
Yeah, Mom, I'm right here.
She pulls away to look at you. I've had this dream way too many times.
I think in a moment of a lapse of judgment, she reaches up with her free hand and pinches her mom's face. Do you believe me now?
You feel like the wetness of some tears like reach down and like brush over your fingertips. And she kind of just like nods, but like can't bring the words to her mouth. And she just kind of like sits down on the stoop and just kind of like hugs her knees for a second.
Yeah, she just kind of kneels in front of her and just lets her process for a minute.
2 years.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I really didn't. I promise. And please don't blame Aiden. It wasn't even her idea for me to go. It was my idea.
I have been less than kind to that girl. I've been mean to an angel. Oh, God. I just felt like she stole you from me and lost you. And I'm just so glad you're okay and that you're back.
Nobody stole me, Mom. I made my own choices. I'm happy to be back. I missed you. I'm sorry.
And I think she'll go and hug you again.
Yep, and she'll hug her back.
Just kind of sit with you on the stoop there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the birds, less animals than in spring or summer, but still the nighttime sounds of a few bugs and things as they dwindle. And I think then you hear a small pitter-pattering of feet as you sort of come out of the hug and you see all around you, just surrounding the stoop and you and your mom, carrying a box of tissues, carrying a candy bar, a little bottle of wine.
Oh, that's right.
A bunch of little things. The Bogalogs.
Oh, the Bogalogs. Oh, my God.
And Tog Bogalog, the patriarch of this family of house elves, comes forward with his little cap and sort of takes the hat off. So now it's just eyebrows, nose, little puffy beard. You know.
Uh-huh.
And he says,
welcome home, miss. Yeah, glad you're back in the home. And, well, we right missed you.
She just kind of gives him like a little nod of appreciation and just says, glad to be back and happy to see you.
The buzz of dragonfly wings fills the scene as Tom, the little flying squirrel,
Oh, little buddy!
zips out of the kitchen, fully into your hair immediately, and kind of just like pokes his head out the top. In, what curls are left, and kind of like crawls down your face and is like looking at you over like the bridge of your nose. Just
I give him like the smallest of scritches with one finger. Hi, buddy, I missed you.
his long fluffy squirrel tail goes down and like tickles the back of your neck a little bit, like a little back and forth swish. Everything has been so much stranger since you left.
I heard. Raven and Aiden told me some of it. Not all of it. Seems like a lot has changed, but that doesn't matter right now. Do you want to have some ice cream and catch up?
Boy.
I know it's late and you probably have to work in the morning, but
She will hold out her hand, and Tom like leaps off your head and onto her hand and scurries his way up onto her shoulder. And she says, We can talk for a little bit. And she kind of gets up. Something has shifted in her demeanor.
because she went to go see Raven and Aiden first.
Yep. So she goes to the fridge, takes out ice cream, and kind of just very like numbly like sets it on the counter, goes and gets bowls, sets that on the counter, gets out spoons, clink, 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 and just starts like serving up a scoop of whatever she's got and pushes it across the kitchen counter to you as she takes a seat. She doesn't even fill her own bowl. She just like digs into the pint of it with like her own spoon. And she says, So are you sticking around, or is there something else you have to go do after this?
I think she kind of picks up on this energy and, she's sort of picking at the bowl with her spoon, but not really eating it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't plan on exactly going anywhere for a while. I was thinking of visiting some friends tomorrow in Portland, maybe. I don't know. I just got back and there's apparently a lot to catch up on, so but I'm not going on a world-saving road trip anytime soon.
She nods and she says, Well, I suppose when the world needs saving, someone has to save it. I save small worlds, Amity. When people are sick and their families are worried, that's the sort of world I can save. You're grown up, and you're a little bigger than that, I think, at this point. But if you could call a little more often.
I left my phone in the Havens, and I didn't want to surprise you by just coming home. So I asked to borrow Aiden's phone, and you didn't pick up. And I left a voicemail, but I'm guessing you didn't listen to it because it seemed like you were really upset with her. So I have to get a new phone first. I probably have to get a job first so that I can pay for a phone. But yes, I'll call more often. But I'd also like to come visit.
Oh, yeah. I'd like that too. Kind of dabs at her eyes again. I think I might need to take things a little slow.
I figured as much.
So if you can dial it back a little bit to keep pace with me, it'd be nice to have you around again for a little while. I'm sorry, I don't know how to handle this. It's like you're back from... And she pulls out her phone and she texts Aiden. I'm sorry, Aiden. I think I get it now. She just kind of sets it down and looks at you.
Shit.
You went to her right away. I'm sorry. It's going to be rough. Oof.
Oh, damn. Okay. Ooh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Just for my clarity's sake as a player, what does Angela mean by dial it back?
Don't shoot lasers out of your eyes or start using gravity on her.
Okay, I had a feeling it was magic related, but like...
Well, it's not even so much magic related, but just to like she understands that Amity's life can never go back to being what it was before she met the group of heroes that this story is about and Aiden. And like, if Amity wants to work on like rebuilding some trust with her mom, her running off and going on these adventures all the time, that will be difficult for Angela to handle.
Right.
Because it's, gone for 2 years. And now you're talking about going to see your friends. And it's like, well, those were the friends that took you away on a dangerous trip and then you vanished, and she sort of is saying that like, she understands that you are like grown up and have this life beyond her now, but that because of the nature of like your maturing in terms of magic and just in general, it's extra hard because of the like hard, cold snap of just not coming home from the trip that you said you were going to come home from.
Right. Yeah.
So the like dial it back or, slow down is her being like, I can't keep up with you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do about that.
I think she's just listening, and I think she just says, I know it's been a lot. The last almost 3 years at this point. I mean, you didn't even believe me when I told you I was magic until I showed you. And, I guess part of me always knew it was going to be hard for you to understand. I'm sorry that it's been this hard. And I'm sorry again for disappearing. I really didn't know how long I was gone. When I found out about Aisling, just everything changed. I changed. And I needed time to understand it, and it felt like there wasn't anywhere safe for me to go. I couldn't go home because what if demons attacked the house again? And we were running from a demon, and it was difficult.
Great things are often difficult, Amity.
Is that the first time that she said her name in this entire interaction?
No, but it's the first time she hasn't stuttered or stammered over it and had to like correct her habit of your old name.
She kind of perks up a little bit at that.
And your mom is a little more composed. She's had a minute to like get her feet under her again. And she says, all I ever wanted was for you to find your place in this world and for you to feel like you belong. And I'm really proud of everything you and your friends did, Amity. You must have had to be so brave. And facing your past and all of those things which would make you ask questions about your identity, that takes a different kind of courage. And she'll get up and walk over and just like hug you as you sit in the bar stool at the kitchen counter. And she says, you're still mine. And when you go off and save the world again, just don't forget about me.
She wraps her arms around her mom. She kind of like buries her face into her mom's shoulder and just says, not in a million years.
I love you, sweetie.
I love you too. I've really missed you.
And she'll sort of rub your back now. She runs a hand comfortingly through your hair. Your room might be a little stuffy, but you can stay here if you want, or if you want to stay with your friends, it's fine.
Is it okay for me to stay here?
You can always come home, Amity.
Natalie, I need floor time. God. Oh, okay. This is fine. This is okay.
Let's take a little break. 'Cause that was a lot.
Yeah, you guys have fucking earned it. Holy shit.
Mel, very good job. This is tough.
I'm just gonna be a puddle for a little bit.
Come have fun with us, Mel. We're gonna make a fun podcast. Lo-fi lesbians, Mel.
Oh, crying so grossly right now.
I'm a level with you, Natalie. Season 3 has not been very lo-fi of you.
It's not been very lo-fi. It's been very queer.
That was not very lo-fi lesbian of you, Natalie.
Wow. Oh my gosh. How could you come at me like this? I also had to do that scene and you're attacking me right now? Let's just take a second.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, that was one hell of a transition between those scenes.
Take me back to the horny sword fight.
Someone turn the car around. I want to go back to the horny sword fight.
Events are unfolding the way they're unfolding.
If we could get more horny sword fights, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
No, this is gold.
Oh, boy.
damn.
Hello, adventurers. I hope your feelings aren't too bruised after that. Sorry. And if you need to take a break, take a break. We'll be here. Now, let's get through the mid-reel. Our promo swap this week is with Memester of the Week. Remember the team of Eastie agents who fought the giant starfish in Seattle? Yeah, those guys. They're back with the second season of their Monster of the Week series. Let's listen to the promo.
Hey all you journers out there, this is Journey Sitwell. If you're new to this channel, we're all about searching out the mysteries of the supernatural and trying to disprove what doesn't sit well with us. On today's special episode, I thought we could do a little introduction to the members of my new investigative team. Let's get started with my friend Dan. Hi Dan!
Hi, my name is Dan Ryan, and I go to college, and that is all, and I am normal. Can you get the camera off me, please?
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Dan. And this is Mordecai.
Yo, what's up, dude? Is it cool if I burn for this?
Okay, look, Mordecai, I don't want to get demonetized. Can you please just put that away right now, please? Sorry.
Yeah, one sec. Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm Mordecai Spellbridges, and I'm a friend to magical creatures and beings alike, including Dan, my best friend.
Great! Thanks, guys. And now for the sponsor of this week's episode. This week's sponsor is, Memester of the Week.
Memester of the Week is a Monster of the Week actual play podcast starring these three weirdos as they go investigate strange happenings and fight what goes bump in the night.
You can find Memester of the Week wherever you listen to podcasts, if you're a podcast person. That's all for today's video. How does that sit with you? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more spooky content, and hit that bell to be notified whenever I release a new spooky episode. See ya!
You can find Memester of the Week wherever you listen to podcasts. I, of course, want to thank all of you for helping to spread the word about the Storyteller Squad to your friends. Word of mouth. It's the true gold standard of podcast recommendations. So tell someone you know about us. At least then you'll have someone to experience emotional whiplash with together. You can leave us a rating or review on the podcast app you listen from. Reviews help boost us in the algorithm and make us more likely to be recommended to new listeners. But don't worry, we'd never replace you. Our socials are linked in the episode description. If you'd like to see the squad's content from the conventions we visit, catch Mel's highlight clips from the episodes, and let us grace your scrolling feeds with a bit of our classic lo-fi goodness, give us a follow and enjoy. We also have a link to our Discord community server. We've seen a lot of you joining since PAX East, and it's been really cool seeing you all share your feelings and takes on the characters, their dynamics, and, of course, discussing those juicy, juicy spoilers. If you want to unlock access to the exclusive patrons section of the server, or check out our first bit of Patreon bonus content, you can follow the link in the episode description to subscribe. We just posted our first talkback episode discussing the events of the first mystery arc for this season. You can access Good Morning Autumn Falls and all future bonus content when you sign up. And of course, thank you to our existing patrons for making so much of our recent growth and adventures in the real world possible. We want to make you proud, and your support means the world. That's all for this episode. See you next time, adventurers. Whitaker, you are done with your interaction with Elias Easty. His warning maybe still ringing in your ears. You gather that perhaps while you may have played Josephine in terms of recording her digitally, she maybe also got you to lower your guard a little bit by saying, like, I'm a sweet old lady and I won't tell my husband that you interrogated me on a park bench. And then absolutely went and told her husband.
Yeah. All right, Miss Walters, we're even.
But I do like this like dynamic that you have set up of like Whitaker is just fully open with at least Elias about him being a vampire at this point, which I think is very interesting.
In my mind, he has spent the past 2 years slowly building up to this point to see how egregious he can get before someone fucking fires him.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet. And I think Elias, in that scene that we just did with you, was like finally like, I'm done with smoke and mirrors. You're investigating my family. I could snap you like a twig. Let's just stop fucking around and have a homoerotic sword fight.
Hey, sometimes, sometimes. Gotta have a little man-to-man kind of interaction.
Yeah, I like that scene establishes that, like, Elias respects Whitaker. He maybe finds him annoying.
That's fair, so do I.
In the way that, like, like a hundreds of year old guy might feel a little terse with an uppity 29-year-old. So you finish with that. You get to head home. Damien is not there. Your bike is not there.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, you get home. There's like noise coming from Prithy's room. You get to rest.
Yeah. Whitaker will like lightly knock on the door and open a crack to see if Prithia has fallen asleep with their music on.
No, they're at their computer. They're playing a game.
Ah, gotcha. Does a little like, hey, wave, make sure everything's chill back here.
They take off their headphones. Ooh, rough one. You were there late, huh?
Yeah. Stayed out getting my back blown out by Elias Easty.
Damn, Whitaker. Okay. Well, speaking of, and they like sit down in their gamer chair again. You see they're playing Baldur's Gate. They're just
nice.
Like,
Not sponsored.
What do you think of this Asterian guy? I think he's hilarious.
Seems like a bit of a prick.
Yeah, but like, I kind of think I can fix him, you know? He's so tragic.
Prithy, no!
Aw, that seems perfect for you.
Maybe. Why don't you eat some dinner and go to bed, old man?
Whitaker grins. This is the only person who can call Whitaker old man and it not feel like a punch in the gut. And yeah, I guess if there's nothing else, I think Whitaker's gonna call it for the night.
Okay, you head to bed. And with Aiden and Raven asleep and Amity staying at her mom's, we pick up with Damien as you arrive outside the community center. Now, clarify for me, Damien, are you intending to try to connect with Hugo, or are you about to agency tail your friend?
Damien's not on the clock. Is the community center open or closed? We're like after hours, so I assume closed, but I don't know what actually happens inside this building.
It is closed to the public as far as it seems from the outside. Most lights are off, though there are some like on in the building, and you could guess that that's maybe like a security thing. And there are like street lights and motion detector lights on like the path up to the door.
Yeah, he'll pretty conspicuously take a look around just to see if there's like an intercom he can buzz into, or, you know, if there's anyone working inside. Like if we happen to see Hugo inside doing paperwork or something, he'd knock on the windows. This isn't stealthy, sneaky mode.
Sure. You were trying to meet up with him then.
Yeah. Then after a bit, he'll probably call.
Sure. What do you think, Hugo? Is there a window to your office that Damien could knock on if he sees you in there? Or are you just like headed towards the lobby because you need to meet with Kabe?
Heading towards the lobby to meet with Kabe.
Okay. Kabe's not there yet, but you do see Damien like poking around the door, like looking inside, doing like the hands and binoculars pose.
He's going to turn to, while he's facing the door, just mouth, "What the fuck?"
Hi, Hugo. It's me.
And he'll like knock on the glass while waving.
And he will quickly make his way to the door Open it up. Damien, what are you doing here?
I'm coming to help you out.
I thought we were going to figure out the classes and stuff later.
Oh, no, with like your night shift thing. I had like caffeine and stuff earlier, so I am ready to go for this.
Damien, you hear some footsteps on the stone path behind you, and walking up in his dark suit with the spiderweb embroidery at the shoulders, and wearing his little flat cap is Dr. Aranya Kabe. He grins with a smile that is like as bright as the moon in the sky. He says, "Recruiting outside help, Mr. Rashad. I'm glad to see you're taking this so seriously."
Well, I'm taking it seriously. Damien was just leaving, though. Right, Damien?
Damien, you see the spider story spirit who threw you out of his shop many years ago.
Yeah, Hugo, I was leaving with you guys. I'm outside help, here to help.
You know what? Sure. What stuff do you have with you?
There you go, Atlas. Share the load.
Nice.
Did you bring any of your stuff from work with you?
He has with him a green jumpsuit, right? Or are you still in your uniform?
Yeah, he'd probably still be in his leather vest, the pizza delivery shirt from earlier that day. And it's Whitaker's motorcycle, so I'd say there's some like weapons and stuff in there.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I've got some stuff.
Kabe, are we doing reconnaissance work tonight, or are we doing work tonight?
He says, "You know I don't like to micromanage. Once we begin the job, we can take it at whatever pace you think appropriate."
You know what? Just in case, Damien, follow me. And he's going to lead him downstairs into the whispered area to get him some proper gear at least.
Very fun. What gear?
That's mostly up to Damien's choosing. He shows him the various accoutrements that are available. He does point out a particular set of additional leather armor pieces that he can put underneath parts of the jumpsuit. There's a variety of smaller weaponry. He doesn't point out the big stuff, just mostly things that he could conceal on himself.
This is a magical experience for Damien because he's always wanted to go inside the Eastie Agency armory, and they will never ever allow such things, that you have to check out things at the counter and return them at the counter the entire time. So he's just in the candy shop like, la 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 la, like running his hands on the weapons as he goes, spinning around, just having a great time.
He absorbs 8 separate curses in a matter of seconds.
I'm not saying that the stuff down here isn't cursed, so blessing, curse, it's all a matter of perspective.
I feel like Damien has used brass knuckles in the past, so what the whispered cooler equivalent would be like those like the punch daggers, and I feel like those go flat enough that they'd be easy enough to slide in a jacket or coat.
You could probably get him like a cowl too or something, you know, like to match your like inconspicuous look. All right, and you guys head to the Pearl District, which is again where the Deep has been recently renovated into a much larger establishment, having expanded into a casino, restaurant, and nightclub. Just roll and investigate a mystery check and ask some questions, depending on how you guys roll.
Okay.
I'll let you both do it, and then we'll do the questions one at a time. And we'll sort of like, rather than have you go through and like make checks to like stealth around, we'll just say that like this encompasses your entire investigation, and the questions will be me revealing things that the two of you find while you're out tonight with Kabe, doing snooping and whatever else.
I rolled a 9.
Okay.
I rolled a 4 again.
Interesting.
Having to work with Damien is throwing him off his game.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay. Well, Damien, you get one question. So why don't you ask that first, and then we will play my favorite game where I establish.
Hugo has to answer things.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think I have to go with my favorite question of what is being concealed here?
Fair enough. A 4 is pretty bad, Hugo. So I'm going to ask 3 questions. The first question Hugo, what is something unsettling that you and Damien observe during this night of snooping around? You don't have to get specific, but like a general sort of vague description of like something bad. You don't have to name proper nouns or anything like that. I can fill in details, but like a generally unsettling thing you two witness.
I'm trying to think of what would be unsettling.
It can't be animal related because that would set off Hugo and we would switch from stealth mode to explosive mode real fast.
Yeah.
So a socially unsettling thing for Hugo at least would be seeing various people in the community that he had helped already making additional deals with other people that they shouldn't be.
You see on like the front steps of the Deep, chatting with King Octopus, Jonathan King, the entrepreneur, business owner of this new establishment, is the Portland CPA, the chief of paranormal affairs, Miranda Rashad, your mom.
Ah!
That's fitting.
And she shakes his hand and then gets into her state office's, black sedan, SUV or whatever, and is driven off by her aide. So that's something. Your mom's been talking with and having meetings with King O. Now I will jump to answering Damien's question of what is being concealed here. Again, you're snooping around the Deep, you're snooping around the area, and eventually you see, maybe it's even you tail King O after Miranda leaves, right? You like sort of follow him, try to watch where he goes. And he actually leaves the club itself and drives a little ways over to some docks. Again, the Pearl District is on the water. And you see King O gets out and goes over to a boat, which has a like submersible attachment to it. It's like a very large exploration type of craft. And coming down the walkway plank and onto the dock and over to greet King O is another familiar face you recognize. Legendary explorer and zoologist Aaron Pike.
Aaron, you bitch!
What?
Ooh.
The two of them shake hands. They have a conversation, which is difficult to overhear from your hidden location behind some classic crates on a dock kind of thing. But yeah, a few brief words are shared. A briefcase is handed over. Maybe money, maybe something else. And Aaron Pike thanks King O, and King O leaves and drives away in his vehicle with his enforcers. So that's something being concealed. There's a deal going on between Aaron Pike and King O. Now, other two questions I want to ask Hugo. What does Damien eventually draw out of you via conversation on this night of you, quote unquote, working together?
That for the past, at this point, 6 months, he has been doing more intensive vigilante work.
I think that's pretty clear once you show Damien how adept you are at snooping around and not being noticed and like things like that.
The dice say otherwise, though.
just this one. And this last question, I will ask Damien, actually, since he's your partner on this little mission. Damien, what does this night with Hugo change for you?
I think he sees that Hugo would have done all of this on his own. And it sounds like he has been doing it all on his own or just about close to for quite some time. So Damien is like, oh, my friend needs way more help than he's letting on. So Damien's going to get much more involved with you.
Yeah.
It's on brand, honestly.
Cool.
I will ask a question because I know that some of these missions and the vigilante work is out there in the real world. Do you talk to Damien at all about the nightmare dream heist stuff that you have done around your community?
Yes, in the sense that it's the basis of the vigilante work, since it's been doing stuff specifically on behalf of Kabe.
Gotcha. Because if you're saying, hey, keeping the streets safe, walking around, doing that sorts of, stuff, that's pretty straightforward. Damien gets behind that 110%. But as soon as it comes to the dream realm or, protecting memories, that's where Damien is like scared and hesitant.
I will say Damien also would get a sense that part of Hugo's more public work is to mentally offset the secret work he does.
So it's his coping mechanism.
Something like that.
No one would suspect mild-mannered Hugo Rashad, owner of the community center, to be the red, gold, and black nightmare vigilante, fighting against Fowler's thugs.
It's more Batman than Superman. Philanthropy when possible, but primarily... Actually, it might not even be either of those.
Are you using the community center as a way to be more connected, which then also lets you be more aware of threats and problems that you could then go solve by taking it into your own hands, kind of a thing?
That would be spicy and wonderful. I will say the majority of his community center work is legit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Just wanting to do good for the community.
Right.
But there's definitely an element of trying to keep the scales in balance.
Yeah, I like that. Valentine. The rainy night in Portland is cold. This is a fall rain. It's not like a cooling summer rain. It is rainy and wet and miserable out.
Oh, that's rude.
There's probably wind blowing some loose, damp papers around the streets and that sort of, energy.
Gets smacked in the face with a newspaper.
Where do you go? It doesn't have to be a special place or something like that, it's raining. Val's got to get somewhere to be out of the weather. Where does she go?
So you know how some parks have those little open gazebos? I think she's just walking by a park that, it's not unfamiliar to her. It's definitely one that she has been to, and finds her way over to a gazebo that is in the middle of the park and stops under it just to get out of the pouring rain for a few minutes and just sits down and sort of curls up in a ball in a little sad, dressed in all black ball. What an emo kid. God, she has not changed clothes within 48 hours. This sucks. I think that's where she stops.
In sort of a half lucid, very tired, very sad, weepy state, you hear some wet footsteps approaching the gazebo, and you hear a metal pail get set down. You hear someone say,
"Well, don't you look like what the cat dragged in?"
She picks her head up, looks over.
You see a young goblin woman in a raincoat, the hood of it up and sort of peeking out from under her large ears, which have to have holes cut in the hood so they fit out, are little tufts of blonde hair and little pigtails that have been tucked under.
Oh my God, bless.
And she has tortoiseshell rimmed sunglasses on, and you can see she has a shovel over her shoulder and this bucket which has a bunch of looks like worms, just a bucket full of worms. And she's wearing, other than that, just some simple jeans and Crocs. And she just goes,
"Been a while, Valentine."
She looks over at her and just sighs. Shouldn't you be sniffing around some rich cheating husband's turf or some shit?
Well, it is pretty late, and I had to pick up dinner for my plants.
She just kind of laughs a little bit and rolls her eyes.
Are you hungry? You look like shit.
I fucking feel like shit. And she holds up her arm with her missing hand.
Oh, snap. Well, fuck, girlfriend. Let's get dinner or something. Where you want to go?
You got somewhere I can change first? I feel like literal wet garbage.
She shoves the shovel in the ground, takes the sunglasses off, looks at you, and she can see
sees her beat up face
and the puffiness around your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes,
Oh, honey. Oh, this is a breakup. Okay, we're ordering takeout.
Oh.
Oh no.
She flips the glasses closed, puts them in her pocket, and like takes your one good hand.
You come with me. Come with me. Grab the bucket. Wait, you can't. I'll grab the bucket.
She like hooks it with her arm.
Yeah, she'll take it from you and like hook it on the shovel and like carry it over one arm like a like a little bindle. She's much shorter than you, but she's like pulling you along by your hand. We'll like call you a taxi and eventually go back to Trixie's apartment. Trixie Hobb with 2 B's.
Also, yes, Trixie is like the one nice person from her past.
Trixie is your old friend. You head to her apartment, and Trixie's apartment is, it's very 70s core.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. There's like wood paneling on a lot of stuff, old carpeting that like probably should have been redone a decade ago, but it's just still hanging out there. And also lots of succulents in little, different ceramic ware and potted planters throughout the apartment. And, some like faded yellowing linoleum on the kitchen floor and like a small table that would only seat 2, like a brown leather couch that has seen much better days, but clearly has been like well loved and is like, for if you don't mind the slight smell of this apartment, it's like kind of cozy. There's like an orange kind of glow cast by like it's like a lamp, shade cover over a light in the ceiling, but it's like the plastic has like yellowed and oranged over time. So the whole room is kind of just this like weirdly off-putting if you were not like familiar with Trixie, I guess, right? Like, right. Yeah, you come in, you've been here maybe once or twice before. She calls you some takeout from somewhere. What kind of food do you want? What's Val's like comfort, my friend's buying me dinner meal?
Oh, it's gotta be like hole-in-the-wall Chinese takeout.
Sure. It's from Dragon.
God.
Which is a real place that I've ordered from before.
No, I'm pretty sure there's one in New Jersey too. That's the funnier part.
Yeah, it's great. And, it's the best Chinese food on this block, so it's fast. And yeah, you get a bunch of stuff. She orders like a platter for you too. It's way more food than you need, but she's like, doesn't want to think about it.
Yeah.
She lets you change. You I guess probably have some dry clothes in like your little bundle or something. Or like
she definitely had some clean clothes in the bag. The bag probably got soaked through, so the clothes might need to get tossed in the dryer.
She'll give you like a robe.
Yeah.
And your friends, she's like,
I've seen it all before.
You just sit in like her bathrobe, which is too small for you, but like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's like a mini dress on her. It's like weirdly like a little too sexy.
She'll give you like a little like knit blanket to like throw around your waist and sit on the couch with her with.
Yeah.
You see she takes the bucket of worms over to a couple of plants which seem to be creeping up some like trellised wooden structures near the window. And when she rattles the can with a wooden spoon, like banging against the side of this bucket, 2 like classic carnivorous plant mouths kind of like blossom from little pods.
Oh my God.
And they go to town on all these worms.
Eat up, boys. These are good stuff. They're rainworms. They're good for your roots.
Oh, she's weird. I love her. Oh my God.
And she'll sit with you and munch on some lo mein or, an egg roll or something.
Yeah.
So, gosh, kid, I'm sorry. It looks like you've been through hell.
She like squints at her for calling her kid because they're like roughly the same age. She just sighs and goes, I'd give you all the gory details, but I'm pretty sure you'd have to turn me in. So we're gonna skip that.
She holds up a chopstick, I'll stop you right there kind of thing.
Yep.
I can't testify if I don't know anything.
I know.
All I need to know is my friend just went through a breakup, but she needs a place to crash while she gets back on her feet.
Yeah, I don't suppose you know anyone who's good with artifice. Kind of. She looks at her coat pocket, which is like hanging up on the wall, and it's still got the crumpled up, well, less crumpled up hand.
Yeah.
in it.
Trixie looks over her like bright yellow goblin eyes lit up. She says,
Oh, snap. Oh, yeah, no, let me take a look at that.
she goes over, fishes the hand out, brings it over, and like sets it on her coffee table. She just like clears a bunch of papers from like an ongoing investigation she's got. They just scatter all over the floor.
Is there like a bunch of like red string all over her apartment?
Oh yeah, she's got a bunch of strings and like conspiracy boards and whatnot. I guess I should mention on like the outside door to the apartment, it's a little like logoed thing printed on like the what's the type of glass that makes it like
frosted?
Not frosted. It's like the warbled glass where it's like all wavy textured.
I know what you mean, but I don't know the term.
I can't remember the term, but it's that kind of glass. And on printed in between the two sheets of that, it says, Hobb is on the job, private investigator.
Bless. God bless.
So yeah, Trixie is a PI. And like I said, she clears things off. She grabs a little like toolbox that's just like lying out on a different table near like a window that she's got to fix or something. Pulls it over, brings a lamp by, and she says,
I mean, this looks okay. You want me to just fit it to your wrist there? What's wrong with it?
There's a recording device somewhere on there. I think it's disconnected for right now, but
Oh shit, you got bugged?
I'd been bugged from the start.
Val, what? Don't tell me. I can't know.
Let's just say she had control issues.
No kidding. All right. Let me take a look.
and you see she like definitely starts to undo the different like plates of the fingers to get like the full inner workings exposed. As she's working, she's like,
I had an ex who was an artificer. He was a real whiz at this sort of stuff. Showed me a thing or two, but wasn't meant to be. He was government, and I am strictly not.
Hold on, I'm putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Yeah. Trixie takes most of the hand apart and then just starts looking it over with like a magnifying glass, which she has on hand.
No. God, the hand jokes continue. We need to counter.
It's a joke because she's a private eye. She's got the magnifying glass.
I know. It's just funny.
Anyway, she eventually finds a little receiver, which then goes to like a circuit board and transmitter, essentially. Snip, snip, takes a couple wires, plucks it out.
Whew, that is some mighty fine stuff. Anything else you want me to uninstall? I mean, this is a pretty stacked piece of equipment you got.
You know, you're a very smart lady, and that's what I've always admired about you, but I doubt you know anything about magic runes. Apparently, I was slowly being life drained while I had this thing attached to me, but I kind of need it for my work. So if we could... She kind of like snaps her fingers and like nicks that in the bud. I don't want to be a human battery.
I think her ears just kind of droop. She's just like...
Fuck, this is so sad. Oh my gosh.
She just kind of like holds up a finger, like, don't even fucking say it. Like...
Alright, okay, God.
She goes to like cradle her head in one hand, just like sitting on the arm, like leaning on the armrest.
Mm-hmm.
And she just goes, I know, I really messed up. I got mixed up in some stupid shit.
Hey.
And she points like a screwdriver in your direction.
Look at me, Valentine.
She looks at her. She's still like holding her head in one hand, but she like opens her eyes.
Smart ladies like you and I get bamboozled by assholes all the time. But either way, it is not your fault if you got fucking taken advantage of. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, let me see what I can do about this rune.
And she kind of just like takes a little micro rag, spits in it, and just goes... starts like trying to rub the rune off the back of the hand plate.
Oh my God.
And eventually she like smudges it enough that it's like disenchanted.
Okay, cool.
And she can put your hand back together and then says,
All right, should be good to go. I see I'm missing a pinky, but I'll have spares of that lying around.
Yeah, don't worry about it. That's fine. Details. And she kind of stops herself from like sharing more of what happened. It had a drive on it. I just passed along some information that needed to go to the right people.
There's probably people you can get a replacement from.
Yeah, probably.
She's kind of waiting for your permission to reattach.
She sits up after a second and holds her arm out.
Just go wait till tomorrow morning if you want to think it over.
I need to start hunting for a new gig starting tomorrow, so might as well get it over with.
Okay.
The locks all automate into place in your hand. Is returned to you whole, and sans the listening device and vampiric glyph and the battery, which you still have in your pocket.
Yeah. But she's gonna have to get rid of somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she just there's a weird emotional feeling when the hand is reattached.
Trixie sets her tools down. She says,
I'm gonna give you a minute. Are you in the mood for box wine or Haagen-Dazs?
There's a little bit of tearing up, and she just goes, can I say both?
Tonight, you can have whatever you want. We are having goblin dinner.
she'll go and get the ice cream and the wine.
I think that's a good spot to leave it.
Yeah, we'll leave Val as you crash on Trixie Hobbs' leather couch for the next few days and sort of recover from the shitty time you went through. Gosh.
Yeah.
What a oof.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends. It's good to have one friend.
Good to have one fucking friend.
Who you can't really talk to, but she'll let you stay with her.
Yeah. It's good to have one friend whose couch you can crash on when it all goes to shit.
When every backup plan and every hideaway is taken away, there is Trixie Hobb and her weird plants.
And her fucking weird plants. Oh, God.
I think that's where we'll end our session. We'll get reunion time next time.
Perfect.
Family dinner next session.
Family dinner next session. Thanks for joining us, adventurers. Sorry about the emotional whiplash.
You're apologizing to the listeners? Apologize to me.
You don't get an apology. You signed up for this.
We'll see you next time.
Actually, no. Listeners, I'm sorry. Listeners, I'm sorry for being emotional on Maine.
Emotional on Maine, emotional on Broadway.
5th and 7th.